Hello everyone, I'm Andmo Bus Videos, or Andmo Central, as I'm also known, depending on the day of the week, and welcome back to another video on OMSI 2, the bus simulator, where you join me parked in the Strathshire bus depot for Explore Strathshire, for a not-so-Explore Strathshire turquoise liveried bus, although the lovely 56 plate older Euro 4 Eclipse next to us is taunting us about the upcoming Euro 3, should I say, not Euro 4, Euro 3 veiling pack. He's taunting us. This is just an eye for now, as you can see. But our bus is not going to be driving that. That'd be a bit strange. We're driving the lovely yellow thing in just next door to it on the other side. This is BD65EWM. One of the fleet of B8RLEs, not B7s, B8RLEs that Trent, Barton have. New at the end of 2015, you can notice the B8's a little bit different with the grille at the back, and there's a few other features that you'll see. They only have got this singular batch of vehicles that are initially new for the 2s, most of which, bar 3 that I'll explain shortly, are still on the 2s. And they're the only B8RLEs that they got. After getting these B8RLEs, I can't say if they're good or bad, I haven't been on any of them yet, they decided at Trent Barton to move to ADL products. So after these B8RLEs, they started getting E200 MMC vehicles instead from ADL. So these were the last Volvos that they got or have purchased for now, and they are the only B8s on fleet. 780 is an interesting one because it is one of 3 vehicles that is now, although it is still in the 2's livery, as you can see, it's had its stickers changed for the 3's with the note on the side, "Sorry about my appearance, I'm helping out on the 3's. That I'll explain very shortly. For now though, we are going to set off in the bus because I'm quite certain that I'm due off on my trip in about 2 minutes. So we are going to be setting off late on it, and you can probably guess, judging by the fact that in-game it is just at the back end of peak time, you will probably be able to guess that we are doing the X49 Express Run, for those of you that haven't already looked at the full video title. So the X49, it's one of my favourite routes on the map. I like a good old peak time service, and the X49 is no different. Running Monday to Friday peak times, it does, I believe, 1 or 2 trips from Carmely, the sort of rural village, into Strathshire Centre in the morning, and then in the evening it repeats them with outbound trips instead of inbounds. So this is one of the outbound trips. On the actual running board, this runs off the 28 service. However, when I tend to drive these peak time runs, I tend to use a bus from depot. It's going to be quite weird driving a B8 on this map. You'll notice that the AI on here, I have changed it to the B7s because I've been on one of the West Midlands ones recently, and I very much... That was a bit tighter than I thought it was going to be. I very much approved of it. I can't remember which one I went on. They have BX... Oh gosh, is it 12s? I'm sure they're 12s. Obviously, yeah, they're 61s and 12 plates. That's what they are. And I went on either, I think it was a 12 plate I went on, and I thought it was something pretty decent, and so then proceeded to change the AI list. So they're on here because you've got to remember that when this map was done, it was just before McGill's took over Explore Dundee, and Explore Dundee was still run by National Express. And so all the vehicles that they had that sort of what Explore Strathshire is trying to recreate and mimic were all to National Express specs. So they're all like the same style B7RLE Eclipses, B70 Geminis, those kind of vehicles that they currently still have in the West Midlands. But for us, for this video, we are driving 780. Now, I haven't been down to Mansfield to see these on the 3s yet. I do keep meaning to, and I still haven't had chance. I was just looking through what I wanted to drive in this video. I couldn't decide. So as per, and something I do recommend, if you ever get to a point and you don't know what you want to drive, I headed over to the Fellow Films forum downloads, had a little look, and there's been a recent update to the Trent Barton repaint pack that is released on there. They've had 6 updates on that since it was originally released. I believe the latest update was adding some E200 MMC repaint. However, an update sort of a couple of weeks ago prior to me filming this, I presume saw the addition of this repaint, as for me this is quite a recent thing actually, for Trent Barton, as things go. It's not like it happened last week, but it has been ongoing for a couple of weeks, probably going on a month or two now. So it will be a recent addition to the repaint pack anyway. So I saw it and I thought, yeah, we'll give that a whirl, have a little drive. And it has been a while since I've been on a proper Trent Barton bus, so it gets me back into the rigmarole of that. So the reason I haven't been able to travel about as much, and for those of you watching the More Central channel, you'll notice that the videos going up at the recent time at the moment are all relatively local, and there is a good reason for that. And the basic reason is my off YouTube life is incredibly busy at the moment. It's busier than it has been for a very, very long time. So that's why a lot of the content on there is local stuff. I've only when I'm recording these OMSI videos at the moment, I'm just utilising 3 hours here and there that I have in between other main activities. And it's quite a nice thing to obviously have a drive in here, because at the moment I'm not able to travel about as much, but at least I can travel in the virtual world. I did also forget how smooth this B8 is, I must say. It only took us 4 minutes. We did quite well at that. I'm going to change the displays manually because it's just a bit easier for the express runs. There we go, and it'll show up. Does look really good. Yeah, and I am a Trent Barton livery fan. I do love their brands. So I am driving in the middle of summer. That's why it's still daytime. I didn't want to drive in full night time, especially when I'm doing a video that is on a specific repaint, because I just didn't really see the point, if I'm honest, if I was driving at night time, because we won't be able to really see the livery and admire it as much as we can. So hopefully we do have some people waiting. So yes, this is a 6 PM trip. But it's 6 PM in the middle of summer. So for those of you watching when this video comes out in February, do be aware it is summer based. If you're watching it in summer and you're watching it a couple of months later, it doesn't affect you. For you, it's just normal. Also, something I do like with the set vars nowadays, you can get the mirror behind you. You can't get the Trent Barton stenciled on it, but you still get the window behind. That I think is pretty cool. Going to make sure we are, yeah. Sometimes what it does on this game that I do kind of understand, but it does catch me out a couple of times when I want to just drive from the depot and then go straight out on a trip, is the time that it tells you that you're supposed to depart is sometimes a couple of minutes later on the actual timetable, so that's supposed to allow you for a couple of minutes to set up the bus. Meanwhile, I am one of these kind of people that, as you saw there, likes to kind of rock up and go. Sometimes I'll change the destination on the way. That kind of driving me now. That's your 10s, that's your 20s, because the 10p's for me are so small for what they are. Why are you giving me... I'd say that everybody's going to want single tickets, aren't they? Because it's... Great. There we go. I love how they start off as brand new pound coins and rock up there as old pound coins. I wonder what's happened up here. Come on, traffic lights, you're loading. Looked away for a second and it's all... There we go, that's a bit better. But yeah, for those of you that haven't already guessed, I have shown the bus off a little bit to try and give hints to the inclination for this. These vehicles on the freeze aren't permanent. The reason they're on the freeze at the moment is a couple of months ago, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, it was around the new year. The freeze have a range of predominantly Optare Versas that do the services. I know that there's another type of bus that do the freeze. For some reason, they've escaped my mind at the moment. There is another type that are also on the freeze, but they do have a range of Optare Versas. Now, over the sort of festive New Year crossover period, one of these vehicles was involved in a fire incident. It burnt itself down to a crisp, as these issues do happen when you get a thermal incident. And as a result, a number of Optare Versa vehicles have been taken off the road for modifications or repair or other sort of reasons, basically in relation to the fire incident that has taken place. There's nobody here, and I mean, it is coming up that we're late, but always safe to pull in at the interchange just in case. So that's why these vehicles are here off the 2 service. That and the fact that obviously the PVR, peak vehicle requirements for a load of areas, have lowered recently with the driver shortages that they've had. Some routes haven't seen the PVR increase yet because the passenger numbers are still gradually growing again, or they're still recruiting drivers. And I imagine the 2s is one of these services that they now do have spare vehicles on. So as a result, the 3 vehicles, 778, 779 and 780, have received the freeze vinyls over their existing 2 livery. They've received the massive sticker in orange at the front and are temporarily operating on the free service. The free service runs between Mansfield and Nottingham. It's not your direct service. It does go... I think it goes, some of them go all over the place and via Hucknall, where the Nottingham Transport Charity is, or Vehicle Heritage Charity is, who do regular open days once a month. I've done a video on that site going back, I think we're going back last year, and I have been invited back again, so I will be hopefully visiting again this year, so you can go and check out the Ammo Central channel for a video on that. They've done quite a lot since I last went, got quite a lot of new vehicles acquired, and quite a lot of new vehicles on the road that were previously in long-term restoration. So it's looking good for them, and they're based on the free service, but the frees, although they are branded as the frees on the buses, when you travel on that service, they will be A, B or C. Because they have the freeze branding on, and then it's 3A, 3B, 3C, but in Trent Barton language, it's A, B, C on the destination blind. That if you have a passenger out there, it does make it easier. However, if you're not and you're travelling in and you check on bus times and other travel apps, and they tell you it's 3A or 3B, you can get quite confused when it rocks up and it's like, oh, I'm not going for the service A, I'm going for 3A. And that kind of thing. In the same way that I believe, I'm hoping it's changed now, but I know for quite a while the 9s on bus times were 91 and 93 instead of 9.1 and 9.3 as they are in real life. Don't ask me why they are numbered 9.1, 9.3. It's somewhat quirky and different, but it's not. It can be quite confusing. I know it was quite confused when I first went. Well, these things happen. You get used to it. But 9.1, 9.3 is what it is on the 9s. The irony of getting stopped at these lights to let another bus through. This is the only service. The X49 is the only service that doesn't go on that top road there. The only one. Just to try and make it quicker, and it's been slowed down by the bus priority lights for the slower bus services. Work that one out. I do still really want to go on these B8s that Trent Barton have. I was intending on going on them on the 2, never got round to it on the 2, and now they're on the 3. They're a little bit easier to access, so I am still intending on sampling them at some point. I don't know when. I'm hopefully going to get them before they take them off the 3, but we'll just have to see what happens. Nope, nobody at that bus stop. You wouldn't believe me, but I have put the people passenger boarding level up as well, and there's still not that many people. Got 3 people on a peak time service. Brilliant. You'll also notice as well with this B8 style bodywork, these steps are higher, so there's more of a steep climb to the top of the bus. You don't get the double step set up as much, or triple set, like your third step up there. You don't get that on your standard older B7RLEs with the Eclipse bodywork. However, on these and on the MCV bodywork, with how the B8 chassis is and the size of the engine and all those chassis counterparts, there is a third additional step for the top row of seats, and then a third step off the main corridor to the side on this one. You can watch my videos that I've done on the MTV Evoras on the main channel. I did do one on the Hull as a Baslow one when they first got it, so you can check that one out, just for a little bit of a comparison. I don't have any comparison for the Eclipse bodywork, because apart from driving this one in game, I haven't sort of looked in the interiors on any of them, otherwise from that. That's why I'm wanting to sample these ones while they're on the 3. I do also need to go to Mansfield again, because they are getting rid of their Dennis Tridents very soon, and their Dennis Tridents are going to be going off fleet in some point in the near future. So they'll be getting replaced by some brand new Enviro 400 MMCs, and unlike the previous MMCs that they've got in 2 separate batches that were for the Pronto, these new MMCs are arriving, just like the ones that Holbrook Depot are getting for Sheffield, are going to be diesel vehicles and are going to be going on normal service work. So it's going to be an interesting few months ahead, especially for Stagecoach and their older vehicles over in the East Midlands region. They have managed to get shut so far of most of the darts. They've got one or two at Grimsby that I am hoping to visit. Optimism at its finest, but I am hoping to go over there and visit them. They've got 2 Dennis darts on loan there due to a vehicle shortage, alongside all of their B7 Eclipses. I've sampled one of theirs so far. That was an absolute rocket, just like this actually. So I am hoping to sample. Goodness me, this does fly. I might be driving this B8 a lot more often, I think. Do expect some more Trent Barton Eclipse videos as well, because I intended to do it a number of months ago, but I still do intend to have a little drive of the Comet liveried one and a few other of the ones that actually feature on the Eclipses. I'm not too fussed about the ones that feature on Solars that they've retrofitted for this. I'm not too fussed with them personally. But I do like the ones that you can actually see on the Eclipses. So like the Comet and the Swift ones I won't mind driving at some point in the future. Any excuse to have a drive of the Vale and Pack is always a good excuse in my books. That or the Renown. Any excuse to drive the Renown as well is always a nice one. Oh, we're doing this again. The issue with this junction is the sensors about there. And to get a bus, as you can probably guess, to get a bus of this effective size round this corner requires some skill and the other side of the road that you can't necessarily tell if you've got until you're on that junction and you then have to reverse back. There we go. The waiting paid off. Always does, unless you set your traffic up to full, in which case it doesn't. And when you set your... Oh, there's a car there, okay. I never realised there was a car in that bush. Well, yeah, if you set your traffic up to full on this map, it's realistic for peak time because you would just get stuck everywhere. And as I used to drive the Carmilla Circular 69A and C, you end up missing out trips on them because you just sat in traffic for half an hour on each run. Apart from that's quite cool, but if you're driving something like the 49, you have to take a small bus and you have to usually drive through a car to get around that junction because it's just endless vehicles coming through. So there we go, so that's everybody off. There we go. Brilliant. And we were, by the looks of it, on the end sheet that you get, we were a second late. So we went from running a couple of minutes late to being a second late. I don't think that's too bad. Not too bad at all. See if I can get some reasonable screenshot. Yeah, I might have to put the destination back up because that looks quite nice as an ending screenshot does that actually. I quite like that. On that note, I'm going to leave it in that view because that looks really, really nice. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting with the repaint as well. I just saw it as I was having a nosy. and thought it was worth recording in a video, something a bit different, and any excuse to drive the Veiling's good, and any excuse to drive a peak time service on Strathshire is good. I will remember to note though in future to turn the traffic settings up, because there was a few less cars than I would have expected, especially when I did turn the settings up prior to this recording. I mustn't have turned them up enough. Either way though, we had a good run, not many people, but it is what it is sometimes. But with that in mind though, I really hope you've all enjoyed this video. If you have done, do be sure to click that like button so that more people can find it and enjoy like you have. And if you haven't already, do be sure to subscribe to the And More Bus Videos YouTube channel for more content like this from the simulation section, as well as an archive of over 4,500 backseat and engine-focused public transport videos from the UK and beyond. There's a video on this channel for everyone from real life buses, trains, trams, minibuses, all sorts, that you will all find interesting. There's a complete playlists section as well, so you can have a look there and find the specific operator, as well as the collection being added to with up to 21 additional videos being added to the archives each week on this channel. So do subscribe so you don't miss out on any unique and exciting videos, and do be sure to check out my other channel and my main one, And More Central, for more content from the real life bus industry, including my real life network reviews and my other exciting series that are all coming back very soon. Once again though, I would like to thank you all for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next video, mate. Goodbye for now. Bye.